Welcome to the 2350 Effect.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2350 Effect. Thank you so much. I am one of your co hosts. My name is Damian Kinsey. I am the co host for the 2350 Effect. And introduce yourself, my co host as well.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I am Tania Farran. I am the co-host of the 2350 Effect with Damian Kinsey. We love being here with you every Sunday evening. It is just a great time, and we've got a great guest for you today.
All right. So hey, if you're new to us and if this is your first time coming to the 2350 Effect, please put your name, your information inside the comment section, where you're from, and also if you have LinkedIn user, put a dash on the end and put your name. So we kind of want to make sure we kind of interact with you and know who our audience is and the people who are supporting us. We thank you for coming here and supporting us in this journey. The 2350 Effect is all about highlighting people and individuals who are doing great and amazing things in our network. And today is no different. We have an individual coming up who is a author, a project manager, a program manager, a person who was in the lane of business and corporate, who has just written a book, Turning into the Storm, is a board member for the Lupus Foundation in Canada, a mom, a spirited and great human being, and we like to welcome her to the stage as our guest, none other than Mauricia Ambrose. Welcome to
Hi
the
guys,
2350 Effect. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. It's great to be here.
All right, great.
We are so excited to have you again. As we were backstage, I told Mauricia she looks beautiful in her her purple that matches perfectly our backgrounds of our fonts, and just beautiful. So thanks so much for being here. I'm excited to learn more about you and to get to know you better. So I'm really excited about that. Those of you that are in the audience today, I would love for you to interact, like Damian had said. I appreciate those that have already shared where their location is, to say hello to us. And if you have any questions as we go through here, please let us know. Comments. We want you to be just as engaged in this so that it's like we're all sitting together, on a Sunday evening, getting to know somebody else. So excited to start this conversation.
And we have a unique and a great discussion. So share out with any individual who you think will benefit from this conversation and discussion. We definitely have a very interesting discussion, kind of different from any other conversations we've had on the 2350 Effect. And I'm excited about this conversation as well. I know Dr. Farran, you're excited as well, right?
I really am.
All right.
I am. Absolutely.
So Mauricia, since you our guest, the way it goes in the 2350 Effect, we kind of always start the show off with a kind of a question. And our question is this. All right. So we always start the segment off with laugh, text, or call. Who was that individual person this week that you had to go out of your way and felt the need to either laugh with, text, or call? Um, So while you're thinking about that person who you decide that you have to go out and laugh, text, or call, myself and Dr. Farran can go first. Do you want to go first, Dr. Farran, or you want me to go first?
I really do. I do. So I want to talk about, I'm looking at my messages here, and this is something he doesn't know that I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to probably say his name wrong, but about 3 times this week, Carrie Chase, he came to the Work-Life Balance Summit. He messaged me about 3 times this week with a joke, just out of the blue, just a joke to make me laugh. And it was just so cute. So one of his jokes was, one shark said to the other shark that had some stingrays on his eyes, "Look at my cool Ray-Ban glasses." Two sardines swim at the bottom of the sea. A submarine goes by. Heavens, what's that? Just a can of people. I mean, who doesn't want to just open up their LinkedIn and have a joke from somebody? So thank you, Carrie, for making me laugh this week and just out of the kindness of your heart, sending me a message to make me smile. How
Carrie
about
is
you, David?
amazing. He's
He is.
amazing out there sending the love and the joke. And when I don't get a joke from Carrie, I kind of start going, where's Carrie at? And I always appreciate and thank her for bringing that laughter to start the day off. Mine's is Sharita. I had to reach out to her. We were doing a live and talking about it, and for some reason, I kind of got distracted, and I skipped over her name, but I appreciate everything she does. She comes to the lives, she supports us, and she's just an overall good human being and positive person, and doing those things out there in the world of real estate in the Philippines. So shout out to her. So I had to DM her and kind of apologize and say thank you.
She is awesome. She is always supporting and helping and interacting and just really, she also posts some really bright and just uplifting messages and stuff. So really enjoy her communication as well.
Nice. How about you, Mauricia?
Well, for me, it's I guess you would call him my significant other. We all day we are exchanging like funny Facebook videos and stuff like that. Even just before this, he was helping me set this up, and I had to like put the headphones on, and I just could not figure out how to put these headphones on so they would not show up on my my dress. And I was laughing uncontrollably. I felt silly, but I was just laughing uncontrollably. So it's my significant other.
I love that. I love that a lot. All right. Then that was laugh, call, or text. Put in the chat who you had the laugh, call, or text, and that person that kind of stood out for you, or the thing that stood out for you. And thank a lot of people for showing up. Jackie's here, Leslie Flowers is here, Philip is here, Autumn is here. We have some great people here. LinkedIn user, you're here. Thank you for showing up from Australia. Thanks a lot for everyone for showing up and supporting. Dr. Farran, you want to ask the first question, or you want me to?
Oh my gosh, I just want to show this beautiful book. And I know I have my background on. Oh, good, you have that. This book is just absolutely gorgeous. I was completely drawn to the cover of this book, and I'm so excited. I know I had put in the chat a few days ago that I had ordered it. I was hoping to have it Friday, have it read on Saturday, did not get it until yesterday. Really actually till this morning because it must have come overnight. So bummed about it, but I absolutely love this book. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to learn more about it. And so, tell us a little bit about you first before we really dig into your book, but tell us a little bit about you, like your personal background and your history. Tell us just, what do we need to know about Mauricia?
No problem. So, well, as you all know, I'm a single mom now of a teenager, and I was born in Trinidad. I came to Canada in 2000. I was diagnosed with lupus in the last year at university. And 26 years later, just about a year after I had adopted my son, Louis, I lost the use of my kidneys. Now, for those of you who don't know, lupus is an autoimmune disease that has no cure, no cause. They call it the disease of 1,000 faces because every lupus patient has manifests the symptoms differently. Basically, my immune system kind of tells the difference between my normal cells and foreign bodies. So it attacks normal cells. And the symptoms can be range from joint pains, rashes, photosensitivity, and of course there's the organ involvement. It could be your liver, lungs, kidneys in my case, your heart, any organ in your body could be affected. So I found myself with a toddler and trying to navigate dialysis. And basically, I did as much as I could to, ensure that he had a normal life. And here I am now with a book and a teenager, well-adjusted teenager.
Very nice, very nice. So what did you study at university?
Computer science.
Computer science.
I have my undergraduate and master's in computer science.
Okay. And what do you do by day? I always say by day, by night.
By day. By day, I'm a program manager at a bank, at one of the major banks in Canada.
Oh, nice. Okay. Very cool.
So you have like an interesting career. I know you got your undergrad and your master's in computer science. You've been a project manager and a program manager, and you worked at IBM for a very long time. Tell me about the transition and the balance of being, and you also have a kid as well. Tell me the balance of being a corporate mom, working in corporate and working project and program managing, especially at big companies like IBM, and then also saying, hey, I'm going to dip my toe into this other thing and I have a story to tell. Tell me about like that, like working corporate and then making that transition to say, hey, I'm going to do both.
Oh, well, it's a lot of, well, I am a project manager, so there's a lot of planning involved. I make a point of knowing myself. I know that I need a break during the day. So I actually have booked breaks in my calendar so that I know this time is for me. And then when I get home, similar situation. After I've done my second shift as a mom, I have my breaks and I make sure that I have time for me. And I think it's all about knowing yourself and what you need. A lot of people derive their energy from others. I am a natural introvert, so I derive my energy from within. So I need that quiet time. I need to step away. So that's what I do. I make sure that I have that time for me, so that the hustle and bustle of the world doesn't overwhelm me.
I love that you said that, knowing your own body and knowing what you need, because there's some days, right, that you can just like, I don't know, some days for me, I can go without hardly taking any breaks. And there are some days where I'm like, this is my limit. This is all I can do today. This is all that I can manage today. And so knowing that, I think, is incredible advice for people to say, when you need to take a break or need to step away from things. It just kind of brings clarity sometimes to your world. So tell us a little bit also. I know that you had a diagnosis and you had a son, and I kind of want to ask this question, this chicken or egg question. Did you write the letters first and then write the book? Did you write the book where the letters come along? How did that work?
I wrote the letters first. When I was diagnosed with kidney failure, I literally thought I was going to die. I didn't think I would see my son again, or they would take him away from me. So I wanted to document the days that we had, so he knew he was loved, and he would remember the things that we went through together. And it's funny, and those letters gave me strength to fight, because I wanted to live. I wanted to live a normal life, and it was just amazing, the transformation that those simple words on the page had for me. And they talk about journaling, and I was never, someone who would journal, but writing things down like that, it was therapeutic, and it helped me, it helped calm me, it helped me see clearly a path forward.
That is so cool. It's very cool that you you wrote messages to him. And for those of you that don't know, she put the letters to her son in her book here, along with other information about her life and what was going on at the time. She can tell us a little bit more about that. But how cool would that be, right, for everyone to write a letter to their child, even one letter to their child that they could find or they could have sometime in their life, or just now even. Those of you in the audience, have you guys ever written a letter to your child to let them know how much they mean to you or how important they are? Or do you plan on it now? Now that Mauricia has suggested or shared that information out to us? I'd be curious.
So for me, the letters are interesting to me because I read the book, and I thank you for sharing the journey of writing a book and having me have some input in reading the book before it was done. I felt privileged about it and was able to read it and actually write a comment on it. It was interesting to see somebody writing like letters, and I was like, and I never asked you. I was like, what in my head? I was like, what went into the process of saying, like, all right, I'm gonna write this letter, I'm gonna write that letter and this letter, and then I'm gonna put it all together in the book, because your book is so different because you have these letters in between points and chapters, and it's throughout the book. And it's a lot of letters that got to me. And I wanted to ask you about one specifically, if you could remember. It was a passage that talked about um, you had to learn the lessons repeatedly whenever I tried to fix things I felt were wrong with me. I felt pushing against the natural order of things. So it talked about you learning these repeated lessons whenever you tried to fix things about yourself, and that you kept pushing against the natural order of things. And then you talked about a higher power and spirituality. What made you write that letter to your son specifically that day?
What I wanted to do with those letters is teach him life lessons. So I wanted to convey that you don't have to keep pushing against life. God will show you the way, even if it's in a friend's voice, or that job that you get just in time, or it's not going to be a burning bush. It's going to be a gentle breeze. And you have to learn to listen to that. And that was my problem. I was stubborn. I wasn't listening. I don't, I have been always it's been very difficult for me to sit still and do nothing. If I see something wrong or something that has to be fixed, I go into fix it mode immediately. I need to find a solution and get the thing done. And I think what I've learned about myself as well is that I have to step back and just let things unfold the way they should. And that's the lesson I was trying to teach him there.
I love that. I think the letters are powerful. I think the letters are so powerful. They're short, they're small, they're concise. And I think parents, always one of my favorite topics. I think parents, we get kind of hung up thinking that we have to be this perfect parent, or we have to, write this just beautiful dissertation letter or something so involved. But really, your words are powerful, yet they're concise. And so, like in this one that you wrote, you're talking to your son. Before I submitted the adoption application to the Children's Aid Society, I thought long and hard about what kind of mother I would be. I always knew I wanted to be a mother, and I believed I could take the good from what my mother taught me and eliminate the bad. Now I think the good and the bad are just part of being a parent, because we are only human. I will always try my best to do the right thing for you. I love you more than anything else in the world. I mean, like, that is to me like, just, I'm human. I'm just going to do my best. And I think that speaks volumes on what you expect from your son, to do his best, that you're going to do your best. Like, just incredible. Talk to me about that letter.
Well, one thing I want to just clarify, the original letters that I wrote, I lost most of them. My laptop that I wrote the letters on, they got corrupted. So the letters that you see at the beginning of each chapter, they're new letters that I wrote for the book. At the back, I believe it's the last chapter. I have a few of the actual letters that I wrote.
I see.
Some of those are a little bit longer, but a lot of those are, just thoughts that I had as I wrote each chapter. Now,
Sure. And yeah.
mhm.
No, go ahead.
Okay, what I was going to say is I stopped trying to be super mom a very long time ago. I try to be the best version of a mom that I can be, because I know that I have limitations. And as I said in the letter, I'm human. And you're right. That's what I expect from him as well. He's only human. And the relationship we have is of friendship, but also a mother and a son who understand each other.
Beautiful. That's perfect. Regardless of when you wrote the letter, he still has the letters.
Yes,
They're
exactly.
forever.
Obviously, yes.
And when I was reading it, and it kind of like, because there's a lot to unpack about this, like, a lot. Your story is like, you live in Canada, you're from
Trinidad.
Trinidad,
Hmm.
you went to school out there, you got your degree in computer science, you're a project manager, um, program manager. You worked at IBM. You have a current job. You're writing a book. You have a kid who you took on as adopted. You have lupus. Um, and in your book, you talk about how there were points where you were not even motivated,
Hmm.
if that's the correct word. And you took on a kid who you adopted while being in a situation where you know and you having this lupus is a serious illness, and you knew you had that, and you were fighting against your doctor to kind of go in and get treatment and whatnot, and then you made the decision. Like, tell me how, for those people who didn't read the book, and tell me, like, what was your process of, like, I'm gonna take on this kid and give him love, and I know this is going on with me, and I'm not fully there for myself.
Well, when I did adopt Louis, my lupus was actually in remission. My doctor, now the forward for the book was written by my rheumatologist, Dr. Correct. And even in that forward, he said that, he would not have approved the adoption had my disease been active. But it was in remission. There were no indications that anything would happen. And there's a twist in the book that, resulted in the flare up and everything happening and me going on dialysis. But he would not have approved it had he known this would have happened. But even in his forward, he said, had I done that, it would have been the greatest mistake as a physician, because he sees the relationship that I have with Louis. And a lot of it is, wanting the best for your child. Adoption or not, Louis is my child. And I will do anything for him. And he knows that. And if I had to do it all over again, I would do exactly the same thing. And you said I fought with the doctors. I would fight with the doctors again. I would do everything that I can to make sure that he has the life that he has right now.
Excellent.
I love
It is a
that.
beautiful, beautiful book. Yes, I do. Thank you, Alexandria, also, who has shared some words with us, but she has also said that listening to Mauricia inspired her to write more, is inspiring her to write more, to save some memories as she's building her family. That's pretty awesome. So incredible. Shall we take a quick break, Damien?
Yeah, because I have a lot of more questions, because I've read, and a lot of the stuff was visual, and working with teens, being a teen at one point, and having like nephews and cousins who are young. Like, there's a lot of this stuff in it that I can visualize, and I definitely want to share with people the parts that can be shared, that are relatable. So, but real quick, we kind of want to talk about a few things and that we have coming up and that we were kind of focused on. Yeah.
All right. So I'll talk to you about the Helpful Living magazine. So I also own a company called Creative Living Ideas, and they sponsor and I guess I should say help promote the programs that we have, including the Virtual Wellness Summit and the Work-Life Balance Summit that is coming up. And so in this magazine, you can still order it if you go to Creative Living Ideas website, and I'll drop that in the comment section. But you can order this magazine, and it showed all of our presenters that were at the Work-Life Balance Summit, what they talked about, some of their wellness tips, how you can get in touch with them. There are incredible people. There are 16 people, I believe, in this magazine, and then Damien and I. And so, you're going to see quite a few people in here, and they're really amazing. You can purchase it at creativelivingideas.com. So grab your copy of that. You can do digital copy of it. You can get a actual in-person or, real copy, hard copy if you would like. And then our Work-Life Balance Summit is coming up October 4th and 5th. It is a 2-day event. Right now, the Work-Life Balance Summit is only $75 for both days up until, I don't remember when. I can't remember the date. Do you remember, Damien, the date? I know we just said it the other day.
I think it's second week of August.
Second week of August.
No, end of July, right? I think it's end of July. Sorry. I'm not mistaken.
I'll have to look at my
end of July or second week of August. End of July needs to be safe.
Yeah, exactly. So it's October 4th and 5th. It is a virtual event. You will have access to the recordings for 2 weeks afterwards. So make sure that you get your tickets to this. It's going to be amazing. All the other ones have been incredible. People walk away from it with so much growth, so much changed mindset, so much inspiration. It's amazing.
All right. So Jackie finally got her copy of the summit and also Mauricia's book. So speaking of your book, questions. So I remember a letter, and I remember you talking to Louis about him like giving you the hand wave and him feeling like things don't matter, and he was talking about it, and it made me think about like being a teenager and kids, and you're talking to them, and you're trying to give them this level of wisdom that we know that when you get older, so many things and you inspire and you know the path, and then young people at times don't know, and you were like kind of talking to him and giving him some information. He was like kind of like, I don't know, or whatever, and you was like, you kind of disheartened that he was doing that, but you're writing these letters to give them this level of a piece of you and this path of, that he can keep with them. How did you feel in navigating and giving that piece, like knowing that it's a possibility you might not be around because you're writing for that, but you always want to instill that in your children that, those values are there?
Well, I have to say that I did shed a few tears as I wrote, especially the letters, because it's a real possibility, right? At the time that I was writing the original letters, it was more of a possibility then. Since then, I have gone through some what I would call near-death experiences, and I did put some of them in the book. And it's still something that, I wouldn't say is a fear, because I've gotten to the point where I know my body and I'm doing the right things now. I've made some really silly mistakes, but I'm doing the right things now to ensure that I am here for as long as possible. But just instilling those things in him, because I remember, I think it was Howie Mandel who said, when they're babies, you are their hero. But when they become a teenager, you're the stupidest person on earth, right? And it's like, I know he's not listening to me most of the time. So I think the book itself, when he is ready to listen, it's there for him to learn and to have that piece of me, as you said.
And I love that because you both, yourself and Dr. Farran are both parents. You have both written books like in a different way about like giving that piece of yourself and about your kids and parenting and that journey. And I love that. Like, and when I was talking to Dr. Farran preparing for this, I was like, you both have like it's so it's. I love that the book is so different from her book, but the messaging is still the same of being that parent and caring about your kid. And I kind of love that process is together. So kudos to both of y'all.
Well, thank you. That was sweet of you. I do kind of like my kids. Yeah, you know, I do. I do. They're awesome girls, and I have an
They're
awesome son.
amazing people.
They are amazing people, and I have an amazing son-in-law, and so I'm just truly blessed. But I was drawn to so many things about this book. As Damien knew, I was like, well, what does cover look like? How'd she make it? How'd she do this? How'd she do that? You know, and he's like, well, you can ask her all of those questions. But before I go into that, you're presenting at the Work-Life Balance Summit, and we're so thrilled to have you there. And I'm thumbing through again. I didn't get time to read this, but I'm thumbing through as we're talking, and there's a whole section on self-love.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about, why did you choose to present at the Work-Life Balance Summit, and tell me about the self-love section, because I'm already loving the self-love section.
So I was at the last summit that you had. I was, I was blown away by it, and I thought I have to be part of this. This is just amazing. So it was simply because of the experience that I had in the previous summit that I decided, you know what, I want to be part of this. The self-love chapter, much of it is for my son, but it transcends illness, it transcends motherhood, it transcends male or female. It's for anyone who, is don't feel that they're enough. We are enough. No matter what situation you are in life, you are enough. There's a poem by Marianne Williamson, and I don't know if you will indulge me to read it, but it's a beautiful poem. Am I okay to? Do we have the time? It's not very long,
Yeah,
but I think
sure.
it embodies what the message in that chapter, as well as the entire book. It's called Our Deepest Fear, and it's from her book A Return to Love. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, to be gorgeous, to be talented and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in all of us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we liberated them from our own fear, or as we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So I feel that chapter allows everyone, or those who read it, to love themselves.
Absolutely. I love in the self-love chapter, it is self-love means this. And I'm not going to give it away because I want them to get the book. Self-love means this. Self-love means this. Self-love means this. I mean, people could almost use that as almost like affirmations, like go through and read that chapter every day to remind them of how they should love themselves and for the reasons why. Like that's incredible. Beautiful. Very beautiful.
Speaking of beautiful, the cover.
I love it.
Where did this come from? Why this cover? Who did it? And what went into this? Because this is like one of the most amazing pieces of art I've seen in a very long time, especially on a book cover. Because a lot of times you get insert picture of this person, or
Yes.
you'll get this thing that like, and it'd be like, okay, cool. And I don't remember it sometimes. It's like, it's no way I'm never going to remember this cover. Like, what went into this cover, please?
So the artist is from Nigeria. I use a website called Freelancer if I need work to be done. If it's programming and not for work but personally. You submit your project, you describe it, and you get quotes from all around the world. And obviously, you'll have to vet each of the individuals. You review their portfolio. And this young man, Josh, had an amazing portfolio. He had actually written books on Amazon. I went to Amazon. I checked out his, the artwork that he did. And it's funny. All I did was say, I want a picture of a mother and a son holding hands. Within a day, I got a picture of a mother and son holding hands. I want bright colors. He did the bright colors. So it's turned into the storm. So I want a storm. He added the storm. I really did not have to do anything. He was super quick in getting me the watercolors and the pictures done. He was even open to giving me additional images as well. Amazing young man, very conscientious, and he lives with his family in Nigeria.
Show the image one more time. I love the image. It is beautiful, but I love the look of mom looking at the son. Like you can like see love in her face. Like she is adoring her son, and I love that. That's really beautiful. He really captured it very well. So tell us some other things. So there's so many people out here that they want to write a book. They want to write a book. I mean, I've been in education forever. And let me tell you, every teacher says I got enough stories. I can write a book. And so, so what did you, how did you go through, like, how did you get the inside font? Damien's heard me talk about books. So he's like, oh boy, here we go. Cause
I love this one to come in because it's well warranted. Go ahead.
It is. I mean, just the different pieces in there. How did you know what you wanted on the inside, and how did you do it, and how did you, produce this book?
Okay, so the process started many years ago. I actually reached out to my doctors and I got all of my medical records. So the book is based on my medical records. I started off writing everything in chronological order. And I can tell you that deciphering medical records is not easy. So it did take a lot of research, just understanding half of what was written. But I persevered. And then once I had everything down on paper, I hired a writing coach because I'm not an author. I'm not a writer. The writing coach actually helped me kind of structure things. And then I got an editor involved. I spent most of my funds on content. I wanted the content to be high quality. Yeah. So I didn't spend a lot of money on publishing because I went through KDP, Amazon Publishing, and got the book published that way. But in terms of the content, I got the editor to review it. Then once it was in a state that, was close to being published, I got a copy editor involved. The copy editor would then look at, am I using Canadian English, US English, UK English, what kind of style I'm using, whether it's Chicago or can't remember the other one, another acronym. But, that person kind of pulled it together into something that was high quality as well. So most of the work I did was with, getting the content right. Now, when it came to actually publishing, I did a proof of concept, project manager and me, obviously. I had written a children's book many, probably more than 10 years ago. So just so that I could understand what publishing with KDP was all about, I published that book. And Dr. Farran, you might be interested in this. Every image on the book and in the book was done by through AI. So I did text to image and the entire book, and I'm very proud of it. I'll just this is it here.
Yeah.
All of the images were done by using AI. So that was my first, dipping my toe into self-publishing. One thing I would warn those who want to self-publish, there are a lot of companies out there professing to be affiliated with Amazon. Be wary of them. They even have Amazon in their name. The publishing company that Amazon uses is KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. Now, the tool itself is very cumbersome. So I would not fault anyone for hiring someone to do the work for them. I think it's worth it if you don't have the time. And even Damien, you have a couple of people in your network who I actually spoke to after the summit who can actually help with that, and they're reputable. So, it's look for people who you can get references from or for.
It is true. And so my company also does that too, though. Creative Living Ideas does.
Right.
Yes. So my team uploaded and created all of those pieces. And it's a lot. Like you said, like you went through quite a few steps. And I can tell by looking at the content of this book that it was very professionally done. And so great job with that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about that because there's so many people who do want to write a book, and there is money involved in creating that. You do have to pay for people to be able to edit it and to be able to create your covers and put it together, upload it, get your ISBN code on the back of your book, and all those pieces that are part of that takes time to do. And then even when you upload it to KDP, I don't know about you, but we've had books kicked back 2 or 3 times for small things, for bleeds, for different things like that. And so having someone that understands how to fix that and correct it and get it back in there is really important. So great conversation. I mean, that could be just an entire show, Damien. We could talk about just how to self-publish a book.
Definitely to be a great show to talk about, have a discussion. And the great part about it is we do have a few authors coming on the next couple of weeks. And
we do.
I did want to ask a question because I know we're getting close to time. Turn Into the Storm. Why that name? Like, because it's interesting. I'm always going to remember it. Why did you pick that name for the book?
I think I've been turning into the storm all my life. Where I come from, you have to know how to fend for yourself. I come from a family of 8, and it's in the Caribbean. A mother's love is tough love. I say this in the book, jokingly, of course, but you put your hand in a fire, and your mother is going to tell you, well, put your hand in the fire again and see what happens, right? You have to learn from your mistakes. And I, even as a child, I was always in pain because I've been suffering with lupus since I was a child. It's not that it started after university or at my last year of university. I was always in pain. If I go outside, I was photosensitive. Imagine living on a tropical island and being sensitive to the sun. So for me, it was always pushing forward, pushing through, getting to the next step. I couldn't stop, and it's not in my nature to give up. It's very difficult for me to do that. And that's it. It's who I am.
I love it.
And thank you for
Excellent.
being who you are
Yes.
and actually sharing your story in your book with us.
Okay.
Yeah, it has been fun. It's been fun getting to know you. I appreciate you being here today, and I appreciate everybody in our audience that chimed in, that commented for us. Thank you for being here today. We appreciate your support and kindness. And I'm sure there are people also in the chat that we did not see. That always seems to happen where a few people didn't show up. So if we did not say your name or we did not highlight you, we do apologize for that. Sometimes they do not show up on our end on StreamYard. So just know that as well. We do appreciate you being here, and we will go back in and read through the comments. So thank you so much for that. I think I put a link to your book already in the comment section of this event. I think I did that already. I will double check that to make sure so that people can access that, find out how they can get it on Kindle Direct Printing. Mine came within just a couple of days, so grab your copy. Go ahead,
And
Damien.
before
Favorite
we
quote?
end, we always end with favorite quote, and then give you an opportunity to talk about your book, where they can connect with you and what you have going on. So before we get into your closing words, what is a quote that you want to leave people with? What is like a favorite quote of yours, and we'll give ours as well.
Okay, for me, it's almost a motto for me now, and I put it at the back of the book. Your short struggles shouldn't define you; they should motivate you.
I love that, Dr. Farran.
I had to pull up my quote. I'm picking a different one. This one's in my parenting book since we're talking a little bit about parenting. Irma Bombeck is one of my favorite authors. She was an author in the 60s and 70s, a columnist. And she wrote, "I see children as kites. You spend a lifetime trying to get them off of the ground. You run with them until you're both breathless. They crash. You add a longer tail. You patch and comfort them, adjust and teach. You watch them lifted by the wind and assure them that someday they will fly."
I love that. And for me, I'm gonna go with a song. I'm going with Bill Weathers, "Lean on Me."
Ah,
Call on me when you need a friend. We all need somebody to lean on, and it's perfect because of what your book is talking about and how the message is to you and your son. So, with that said, I want to give you the final words where people can connect with you and where they can buy the book and figure out what's next with you.
okay, great. And just to let you know, Damien, Bill Withers is one of my favorite singers. "Lovely Day" is my absolute favorite song. Having said that, you can find me on LinkedIn. I also have a website called parentingonedayatatime.com. I know it's a mouthful. And a Facebook group called Parenting One Day at a Time as well. I write articles for Lupus Canada every month, so you can look out for those. And I also write my own articles on LinkedIn as well on a monthly basis. So I really hope that you guys can check out the book. It's on Amazon right now, and it's also on Lulu. And I am working to get it on Barnes & Noble and a few other websites as well.
Well, congratulations. Your book is beautiful. I wish you so much success.
Thank you so much.
Same, likewise. I'm looking for it. Put those inside the chat so they can get the links to those, and where they can directly get the information for your book. I know Dr. Farran put it in. Next week we will be live again, as every week. If you see on the bottom, the 2350 Effect. We will have three different collaborative authors next week.
We do.
I'm not going to say them. Tomorrow the link will come out, and join us every week. Dr. Farran, do you want to close us out?
I do. I just want to thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see you next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the 2350 Effect. Thank you again, Mauricia, for being here. Thank you, Damien, for being a great co-host.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for attending the 2350 Effect. If you are interested in becoming a guest or a sponsor, please contact Damien or Dr. Tania. Join us every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the 2350 Effect.